Warriors Barry Romo and John Kerry side by side protesting the war they just served in. Today, Romo is still protesting and telling me in my closer look tonight, he's the one who 30 years ago convinced Kerry to chuck his hero medals. Barry Romo cracks open the Class of '71 photo book from the Vietnam veterans against the war. He points to John Kerry, Romo's fellow protester. You were there with John Kerry when you threw your ribbons or medals away. You remember that day vividly?
Oh, absolutely, I remember it vividly.
You remember him not wanting to do that, but do something else?
He suggested that instead of throwing them back at the Capitol building, that we did return them to the government, but that we collect them in a body bag and then give them to the government that way.
Romo says he was the one who talked Kerry into throwing them away instead, an act that has hurt Kerry with some veterans during this election. Do you think he regrets doing that now as he's running?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And in fact, I mean, people who are presently in VVAW have talked to him, and he's proud of his VVAW service, just like he's proud of his Vietnam service.
Romo is the national coordinator of the Vietnam Veterans Against the War, the anti-warriors who made John Kerry famous when he testified before Congress in his military fatigues in 1971. Those were heady days for Romo and the group.
It was the Washington Daily News. Isn't there anymore.
Today, this is it. The group's world headquarters are here. Romo's tiny north side apartment. Kerry and many others moved on. Romo hasn't and won't. Ask him why.
Any night in the city of Chicago, 5,000 to 10,000 homeless vets sleep on the street. They have no problem fighting overseas, but the government has a problem taking care of them when they come home.
On this night, Romo talks to the most famous veteran he knew, John Kerry. And what Romo knew is that Kerry would someday run for president, even then.
Everybody thought he was going to run.
Really?
Yeah, everybody thought he was going to run. And then he ran for Congress afterwards. We said, oh, okay.
Why? Did he say it?
No. People just, I don't know. People just sort of felt that.
You think this is a pro-Kerry story? Well, you should know that Barry Romo was a Deaniac, a big Howard Dean supporter because of his clear anti-war stance. Kerry was Romo's third choice. Robin Romo says his group gained 600 new members at $25 a pop, $25 a membership, since the start of this war in Iraq.
Well, I found most disturbing, he said 5,000 to 10,000 veterans sleeping homeless on the streets of Chicago every night.
His thought.
Those numbers not confirmed from any place else? Because that's kind of sad.
It would be very sad. And he says what they do, his group, 2-3 times a year, not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, but just spotted times. They'll
times when other people aren't doing it.
Right. That they feed them, they bathe them, they find a place for them to stay. And he's very concerned that the Veterans Hospital here, the VA hospital here in Chicago, is going to be closing soon. One in Boston, a couple in New York, and he says we're forgetting about the veterans.
Veteran issues,
yeah.
Not just anti-war issues.
Right,
all
exactly.
Right. Thanks, Mark.
Still to come, storms, severe ones headed our way. Rick DeMille with the forecast next.
Also coming up, some endangered birds are flying south for the winter with